entity and separate entity concept. In fact, you have to behave as an accountant of the entity to learn the correct concept of financial accounting. So if you are not behaving as an accountant of the entity, you will not be able to learn the correct concepts of accounting. So this is the importance of this module. When we say entity, as a matter of fact, entity is an activity which is undertaken for some purpose. So, the purpose can be a profit motive or a non-profit motive. Either the entity that we are going to do accounting for, that entity could be undertaken for some profit purposes or for some non-profit purposes. The entity which is having profit motive is known as business entity. And the entity which is not having profit motive is a welfare society. In a way, business entity is an economic activity which is undertaken with the sole objective or the motive of earning profits. Whereas, welfare society is also an entity, but the motive is just to volunteer for well-being of the society. But remember, both of these two entities carry financial information. So being an accountant, we have to look into the financial information of the entity, either that is business or non-business. Here, I will emphasize on the concept that accounting is the language of financial information. Wherever you will see financial information, you will need accounting over there. So, the concept in which we proclaim that accounting is a language of business is wrong. Because we do accounting for the non-business entities as well. The only condition is that there should be financial information in that entity to do accounting. So, for an accountant, it is very important to learn the separate entity concept, especially for the business entities. Because mostly, especially those who are learning accounting at a very initial stage, they must know that owner and the business are two separate entities. And you are doing accounting for the business, not for the owner. Whatever the financial information that you would be having with you, you should analyze that financial information in terms of its belongingness to the business entity. If that financial information is not belonging to the business entity, you will not entertain that financial information in the financial statements of that business entity. So in a way, the important information here is that owner and entity are two different persons. And for this, we are going to have a practice in which we'll see the business entity concept, that which information would be accounted for in the accounting books of the entity. Number one, cash invested as capital of the business by the owner. Owner bought motor car for his personal use out of his personal bank account. Owner used a part of his residential building for the business go down, for which he has paid rent out of business bank account. Owner took loan for his daughter's marriage from a friend, and goods bought by business for trading were consumed by the owner for his personal consumption. So answer is 1, 3, and 5. Because in transaction number 2 and number 4, you are not evidencing involvement of business. In second, you see owner bought motor car from his personal use, for his personal use out of his personal bank account. So business bank account is not involved over there. And in number 4, owner took loan for his daughter's marriage from a friend. So again, over here, business is not involved. So the important tips to remember in this module are that accounting is a requirement of each entity. Number 2, business has separate entity apart from its owner. And number 3, that accounting entity concept is different from the legal entity concept. Here, just for the sake of information that you have to keep in your mind, that accounting entity concept is not the legal entity concept. Legal entity concept is a terminology that is used for legal suits or cases. So don't mix up these two entity concepts. We are accountants, or we are learning accounting, financial accounting. So our focus would be on the separate entity concept in terms of accounting, not legal. Thank you.